Using the 3 feet rule. Complimenting and speaking to everybody that I meet. And starting with a compliment and a sample. And I go to Walmart and Target.
Welcome to MLM Nation, a podcast of leaders, by leaders, for leaders, hosted by Simon Chan. He's built a team of over 200,000 and is now a full-time MLM coach and trainer. So if you're ready to level up your business, join us now. Let's do this.
MLM Nation, this is Simon Chan. I'm fired up to bring our special guest today. This is a super rock star. I've been trying to get her on the show forever, but she's been just making things happen, traveling around the world. We have the one and only Stormy Wellington. Hey, Stormy, are you ready to make it happen?
Oh my God. Listen, I stay ready, so I don't have to get ready. Absolutely.
Stormy Wellington came from humble beginnings and had to overcome numerous challenges in her life. She came from foster care, stripped, and also got into scams. She eventually worked in corporate America before she got involved with network marketing. Today, Stormy is an international speaker, wellness guru, a network marketing leader who has a team of over 45,000 distributors and 75,000 customers and is a 7-figure earner. Not only that, Stormy is one of the top income earners in the entire network marketing profession. One of Stormy's goals is to help 1,000 families become millionaires as well. And to date, she's helped over 36 families achieve that already. So Stormy, welcome to the show. Why don't you take us to your background? I'm interested in your challenges you faced and how did you eventually end up in network marketing?
Well, first of all, I want to say it's an honor to be here with you. You know, all of the legends and the greats, some way, somehow making on this platform. And so I really feel like I officially got the legendary stamp. So thank you. And I want to celebrate you for all of that you've done to make a bigger voice in our community, in our industry. So Stormy Wellington, you know, I have a very interesting background. I come from a background of hustlers. My mom was a drug dealer. My dad was a drug dealer. My family was in the streets, my brothers. And so all I saw was hustle. I don't have that story of mom going to work and dad going to work and eating dinner at the dinner table with my family and going to church on Sundays. Like, that's not my story. I come from a very, very different background. You know, my mom was always on the road. She traveled a lot. She did a lot of international business. My dad traveled a lot. And I was, you know, oftentimes in foster care because my mom would be gone and my brother, you know, would be gone. And so if I wasn't in foster care, I was living with a family or a friend. And so I had a very different, you know, upbringing that caused me to have to try to figure things out at a young age. There were times where I would come home from school and there was no mom, you know, at home. There was no food in the refrigerator. There was no water to take a bath with. And so, you know, it's not like my mom left me in the care of someone. I literally had to figure out how to get cared for by someone. And so with all of that being said, I ended up, you know, having my first child when I was 15. I went to school and I met me a guy, and he was the guy who helped me out. He made sure I had clothes for school, and he helped me out with my necessities, the things that women need growing up, deodorant, you know, just, you know, women's products. And we ended up getting into a really serious relationship. And so when I got pregnant at 14, I was like, okay, I'm about to snag this guy because I not only felt like I was in love, but I needed the support, you know? And so I had my first child at 15. And because of that, I couldn't go back to school. I didn't have a babysitter. You know, imagine me 15 years old with a 1-year-old, you know, baby. And I ended up having to get a job at night. So while most young ladies were home, sleep, I was between parenting at 15 and in the strip clubs. My very first time in the strip club, I was 13 years old. And, you know, I don't know if you have kids, but just imagine, you know, a 13-year-old in the strip club. So I was a child, really, in the club. And so my first time in the club, my water was off at home. And I remember I went into the strip club, and I never forget this. I had on this black suede skirt and this white shirt. And I had a short haircut, and I always was very mature for my age. And the guy goes, "Hey, I'll give you $600 if you lift your skirt up." Right. And I share the story because the first thought process was humiliation, like how disrespectful. But I remember, man, I got no water at home and I got no food at home. So these $600 could help me out. And so I ended up calling him, lift my skirt up, got $600. And that began my strip club career. So I was in a strip club from the age of about 15 until 19 when I had my daughter. I gave birth to my daughter at 19. And that's when I realized that I just did not want my daughter to walk in my footsteps. A lot of what I had learned up until that point came from watching my friends and my parents. And I truly believe that we are a product of our environment. We truly become like the people we hang around. And so everybody I was around was stripping, scheming, scamming, and drug dealing. And so I picked up that trade from that young age. And so I always had an ambitious spirit, a go-getter spirit. In the club, I learned how to overcome rejection. I learned that you don't eat what you don't kill. I learned how to be relentless. And to kind of make a long story short, I end up getting out of the strip club when I was 19 because I had my daughter, my second child. And I got a lot of odds in jobs. I ended up opening up a boutique and the market crashed. Of course, 9/11, I was a victim of that. And I was working at the airport. I used to be a TSA agent. A lot of people don't know this, but I was the same blue uniform that the TSA agents wear to this day. I wore that very same uniform. And so after becoming a TSA agent, I just realized that if I keep living this normal life, I'm going to die poor, broke, and never had experienced anything. And so I stepped out on faith. I moved to Atlanta, Georgia one day because that was, in my mind, the Black Mecca. I had never seen so many successful Black people like I saw in Atlanta. And that's when I figured out and learned about the industry of multi-level marketing. Prior to that, I thought multi-level marketing was a pyramid, a scheme, and a scam, and that only the people at the top made the money.
Who introduced you? You don't need to mention the name and stuff. How were you introduced? Who and how were you introduced to network marketing?
That's a very good question. So I moved to Atlanta, and when I first got to Atlanta, I was in real estate. This is back when anybody could buy a house. As long as you had a 500 credit score and a pulse, you could qualify for a home, right? And so I got into a little real estate, and I remember Simon doing very well, selling houses, getting 50% commission, not having my real estate license, just referral based. And at that time, I'm like, oh, I want to be, owner. I want to rent property. So I had 3 properties. I lived in one and I rented 2 of them out. And then when the market crashed back in like 2005, when the market crashed, I ended up in one of my houses. I kept one house and that house went into foreclosure. And I never forget, I had somebody came by that, because I decided to rent my house out. And I remember the guy came by, he said, listen, I'll rent this house if you complete your basement. And he was going to rent my house for $3,000 a month. My mortgage was only $1,700 a month. So in my mind, I could use that extra $1,300 to pay my rent. And I ended up calling this gentleman that I met. And he came over to give me an estimate on what the price would cost to renovate my basement. And he used the best marketing pitch to this day that I've ever heard. When he came to give me the renovation price, he looked at me and he goes, wow, you're an attractive young lady. But what if I could help you lose 10 dress sizes in 10 minutes without diets, exercise, surgery, or pills? And I'm like, what you trying to say, I'm fat? I didn't know that he was pitching me for his multi-level marketing company. And that day he edified his wife about how fabulous she was, how fine she was, and how I can make money and lose weight and look great with these products. And so my first multi-level marketing company, we was, selling garments and detoxes. And I got in because that pitch, and then I met the wife and I said, this makes sense. If you can look good and make money from pretty much looking good, I could do this.
So how did you do once you got started in network marketing?
So when I first got started, of course, I did what they taught us to do. I built the list and I reached out to my family members and my friends, and they all discouraged me. The truth is, when I first got into network marketing, that was back when we would accept ACH checks. That's how long I've been in the game. And I wrote a bad check to get in, literally. And I was working at a job making $13 an hour. And I remember I'm just so excited because I believed, and at that time, I thought that long as you believe, the people that loved you would believe, right? And so I reached out to my family members and my friends and my mom and everybody. And I'm super excited about this new business that I had got in. And lo and behold, that's when I learned that the first people to reject you would be your family members and your friends. And so they all just told me how dumb I was, that they can't believe that I got by one of those things, quote unquote, those things. And so I ended up going the alternate route, which is I would get out. I would go to Targets and Walmarts and beauty salons and barbershops and daycares. And I had a strategy that I would call it the 3-foot rule. If you came within 3 feet of me, I was talking to you and prospecting you on my business. And so that's really the swing to me becoming a woman I am today, is after being hurt by my mom, my friends, and my family members. I became a part of the NFL. No friends and no family left.
Yeah. So 3 feet rule, what would you say? Just say I was in Target and shopping and you come up to me. How would it start?
So I will compliment you. Like I would say, oh my God, that hat. I love that. What is that hat saying? Like that is amazing. What tell me about that hat? And when you're telling me about the hat, I'm intrigued in what you're saying because most people like to feel like they're interesting. And I've learned that. So I will make you be very interesting to me and I'll be interested in what you're saying. And I say, well, let me ask you a question. Do you or anybody want to lose 10 dress sizes without diets, exercise, surgery, or pills? And based upon their response to that question, it will let me know where I needed to pivot in that conversation.
Mm. What were your numbers like? So if you approached like 100 people in Target or these people, how many people actually would be interested? Number one, and how many people actually join or buy something?
So I had a 7-to-10 ratio. I did. In the beginning, it was like everybody would blow me off in the beginning, but I learned that people could smell fear from a mile away. So the more confident I became in that approach, my ratio increased. So 7 out of 10 people would say, wow, tell me about it. Or what do you mean? Or what you got? Or they'll be like, me. They automatically say, oh, me. I want to lose 10 dress sizes without diet, exercise, surgery, or pills.
Yeah, you put a great point. People can smell fear right away. I mean, people think it's the magical words, but you can see the right words, but you don't have confidence or fear. People can sense that, right? So how can someone build confidence? Like just say I'm new, I'm scared as heck, or I've never had success before, or someone from your background. How can someone build confidence?
So the reality of what I've learned is that you only build confidence through doing it. You can't read a book to gain confidence. You can't listen to audios to get confidence. You got to just decide to do it. And you got to become detached from the outcome. Like you can't say, I'm going to keep doing it if, I'm going to keep doing it if, I'm going to show up if. You got to decide, it's about not now, but who's next. Everything is next. You might say no, but no really means not right now, or you're just not for me. And I developed a mentality of whoever told me no, I felt sorry for them because I knew that what I had to offer them was going to change and could have changed their lives and the people around them. So I really became detached from the outcome. If you do great, if you don't, great. So I never really was connected to the yes or the no. And I never got beat up by the no's. If anything, the no's made me want to go harder. So confidence is you got to do it. You got to do it and develop some stamina and some strength through the no's. And if you get enough no's, like I tell people, haters are my motivators. And so that's what has helped me. I have decided to change my mentality from you're a hater to, oops, I'm motivated by your no.
That's awesome advice. Yeah, I think like I love what you said. Like you feel sorry for the no's because it's really their loss. Right? They missed out on a chance to work with you. It's not like you missed out; they missed out on working with you. And I think a lot of times people think they have to learn something, but you're learning is in the doing. Like you share, like you just do it. I think it's like a muscle. It's like going to go to the gym. The more you get through that rejection, it gets easier and easier, right? To be emotionally detached. Would you agree?
Yes. Correct. It's like a muscle. You got to use it or it doesn't grow. Absolutely.
So what was an aha moment, a light bulb moment for you where something happened or something where you went and then your business really, really started taking off?
You know what? I realized that people are looking for someone to follow. Most people are used to being told what to do. And a lot of people, have a lot of fear. People are not as confident as they may look. You could look confident, you could dress confident, you could smell confident, but that doesn't mean that you have it all together. And so my aha was that people love when you're willing and able to be your authentic self. Of course, some people are afraid of it because it could turn them off because your bright light, your 80 watt could dim them to a 40. But I've learned that more people are attracted to authenticity. Authenticity carries the highest frequency. And so I've learned to always show up as my authentic self, and those that are for me will show up as well. And so my aha moment is just really recognizing that there is strength in being your authentic self and that people are looking for someone to follow. And I would say thirdly, that what you lack in skills, you make up in numbers. Like network marketing, just like business, is a numbers game. Some will, some won't. So what? Who's next? And so knowing that I'm always trying to use every experience as a way for me to show up as authentically Stormy. And a lot of people love me. Though a lot of people don't like me, there's a lot of people that love me. More people love me than hate me. And it's because of my transparency and my authenticity.
Yeah, I think the more haters you have, the more followers you have, the more successful you are.
Exactly.
Right. What's an example of being authentic? I think people use that word a lot. You give an example, maybe something about you. I guess, right. I guess another example, you just share it. You used to strip. That's something people are probably not comfortable sharing, but you shared it with that. But give another example. What do you mean by being authentic? There's a lot of people may not be comfortable.
I got a great example for you. And the mere fact that you asked me that lets me know that you don't know what's going on. So this week has been my most viral week. I am trending on Twitter, Yahoo, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I am trending. I am a trending topic right now. Simon, obviously you don't know that because you would have asked me about that. So I did a women's retreat about 2 weeks ago. Okay. And one of my leaders, she used to be homeless. And she went from homeless to now multimillionaire. She went from sleeping in her car, a Honda, to driving a Bentley. She went from no money to coaching several women and men to multiple six figures and making millions of dollars on her own. And she built a home from the ground up, brand new. And she lost 85 pounds with me as her mentor, and her life changed. And 2 weeks ago, we had a women's retreat, and she had a plate of barbecue. She had 2 hot dogs, 2 hamburgers, beans, potato salad, and corn slopped all over her plate. And my plate had 2 pieces of chicken, a little shrimp skewer, and a corn. And I sat down with her, and I immediately was embarrassed for her and agitated as well, because we are in the health and wellness industry. We literally sell transformation, weight loss, and looking good for a living. We all have gained a little bit of weight. And she sat down with me, and I literally was like, that is a low vibrational plate. Why would you make that plate like that? And she immediately was like, Coach, I didn't make my plate. They made it for me. And I immediately said, well, you should not let anybody make your plate for you and put anything on your plate. That plate looks like a hood rat plate. If you look at my plate and you look at your plate, they will say that this is a hood rat and this is a queen. And it wasn't about the type of food. It was about the way her food was organized on her plate and the amount of food. And I was like pointing, that's a hood rat plate. That's a low vibrational plate. And I was licking my fingers because I'm still eating my barbecue and my shrimp. And that video, we've already gotten like 20 million views on one video. It's everywhere. I got interviews. I did a Rolling Stone interview. I got Fox Soul interview tonight. Like, people are now saying, that's low vibration. I don't want to eat low vibration food. So that's an example of me being myself. And it has stuck to the point where people are now saying, I don't want to eat a lot of food anymore. I want to do portion control. I want to watch the way my plate is made because I'm a queen. So I said, this is a hood rat plate where my plate looks like a queen plate. And most people are not used to that level of delivery. And it really sparked a lot of controversy this week.
That is cool. You know, actually, right before the show, I was actually on Instagram. I saw that. I didn't get a chance to read it. I was preparing for the show. It says low vibrational plate. So now I know what that is. That is cool. And, you know, everyone, we'll put a link to that post on the show notes. So if you haven't seen it, you can definitely go check that out. And you know what? You want to be successful, copy what successful people do. You know, be authentic. Switching gears a little bit. This is actually my favorite question, especially with someone with so much experience as you. What is your worst moment in network marketing, to the point that you maybe even had doubts about this profession, but you didn't quit, and that's why you are where you are today?
My worst moment. So I have 2, but let me give you the first one that came to my mind. It was such my worst moment, I was almost not going to tell you. So I had a meeting. This was about 10 years ago. I had a meeting, and it was my meeting, but I was using another leader's laptop. And it was about 1,000 people at that meeting. And we went to play the opportunity video before the opportunity meeting. And I hit play, and porn started playing on the TV screen.
Oh.
And everybody knew it was my meeting. Everybody knew it was my meeting, but it wasn't my computer. And he really did not want to own up to it. And I was very, very, very embarrassed. People started calling me Pointy Stormy. I was embarrassed, and I felt like people didn't have integrity because I feel like, in that moment, he could have told people that that was not Stormy's computer. And so imagine me trying to defend myself and tell people like, that's not my computer. That's not my computer. And people already, I was the youngest leader in that company. I'm always like the youngest leader, apparently. Seems like, especially back then, I was about 30 years old. And it could have ruined me because it was kids there. It was a lot of Christian church people there. I was very, 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 very embarrassed. And I had to figure out how to keep going because some people thought it was funny, but it just was a very embarrassing moment. And that made me almost want to quit. And finally, that evening, that late on that night, he confessed that that was his computer. But throughout the whole meeting, imagine me having to facilitate this entire meeting and people thinking that I'm just no integrity watching, so it was really, really bad. Really hurt me. I almost wanted to give up on the industry. And then my latest, which is within the last year, I helped the girl make $4 million in 2 years, changed her life. And I developed a real love. I believe in 3 things: lead with compassion, love, and humility. Okay. And I build relationship with my people. Like we become like family. Like we eat at each other's homes. They eat at my house. I love on them, spend time with them, pray with them, meditate with them, work out with them, sacrifice with them and for them. And literally for no reason. I mean, I still can't tell you right now to this day what I did to her. She literally turned on me. She talked really, really bad about me. And she created a real We Hate Stormy army and campaign. And a lot of them got together and tried to take me out the game. So it went from her to 4 or 5 more people created a hate campaign against me. And it hurt my feelings because these were people that I helped make a lot of money and I spent a lot of time with. And I had to figure out how to move past. The vision doesn't change, the people do.
That's good. Vision doesn't change, but the people do. How have you seen the profession change over the years?
Man, to be transparent with you, I've been in the game for almost 14 years. November 15th makes 14 years. And honestly, like people have a lot of shiny objects everywhere. From crypto, Forex, people feel like everything is crypto and Forex. And of course, there are people winning in those companies in the industry, but it's still a gamble. To me, I've always been a product girl. Like I love products because I feel like products are sustainable. Products have an emotional attachment to them, but I'm noticing that people have gotten very bright-eyed. Anything that's shiny and bright, they get distracted very quick. The longevity of a person used to be more. You lose them quick. They come in the front door, out the back door in one day. I've also noticed that I just believe COVID created a lot of isolation. So there's a lot of people that are not outside. They are isolated and they're afraid. So the work ethic that I used to see people that worked. People have really, I just noticed they're poor work ethics, just poor work ethics. And I just believe that those product-based companies that have great, high impactful, emotional, immediate gratification products, that they just got to hold on and try to grab and hold tight to the leadership. Because I believe that as this Forex trend keeps doing this, people are going to look for something more solid. And again, I'm not hating on the Forex and the crypto deals, but it's nothing like having a product that you can feel, that you are emotionally connected to, that you want it, that your mind thinks about it, your heart craves it, versus you're attached to the dollars and the outcome of this trade or this crypto. It's like there's no love in crypto and trading to me. So I just feel like the industry has changed because everybody wants something fast and easy and they don't want to work.
Yeah. Thank you for the feedback. That's authentic feedback too. You definitely get some haters on that one. I like it.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm no BS. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I know you're born from the Bronx. So we're like.
Hey, go Brooklyn.
Hey, how important is consistency to success?
Wow. There can be no success without consistency. Anyone that's watching this interview right now, what you lack in skills, you make up in numbers. You can outwork your leader and end up one day making more money than your leader. Consistency and determination is important because there is no determination without consistency and there's no consistency without determination. So anybody can make it eventually if they persist and consist. And I think that I'm fortunate that there's a lot of people that never saw the compound effect of consistency. But I've seen people go from the background to the forefront because they've developed the muscle of saying, I am going to be consistent.
Yeah. What's a routine you have? What's your daily life, a day in the life of Stormy like? Your routines?
Yeah, great question. So I teach that everybody should discover their formula. So I wake up in the morning and the first thing I do is I'm always checking in with me. You know, how am I feeling? What's going on with me? I am a person that I lead from the front and I live a life of appreciation versus expectations. Like I try very hard not to expect anything from anyone, but appreciate it all. And because of that, I'm very detached from a lot of outside forces. I often tell myself, the enemy without can affect you if there's no enemy within. A lot of people have an enemy within themselves and they cannot seem to get past where they are because of the enemy, the things that they tell themselves. And so I wake up in the morning, I check in with me, like, how are you feeling? And if I'm not feeling good, like, what's wrong for me? Like, literally, what is bothering you? And I literally go through that in my mind. And I go to YouTube or I go to Audible and I listen to some type of random audio book or some type of random message. I try to learn something every morning before I actually get out of my bed. Now I have a community and at 8:00 in the morning, we have meditation. So we meditate at 8:00. I meditate. I have about 1,300 people right now actively in my community. And we're meditating at 8:00 every morning. I do a message and a meditation at 8. And then after that, I'm in the supplements industry. So I go downstairs and I take my supplements. And after I take my supplements, I already got on my workout clothes. I either go for a real hardcore workout or I go and take a walk. I believe that you should move your body every single day. Moving your body sends endorphins to your brain that makes you feel good. And so I move my body every day, because that's a part of how I stay vibrating high. And after that, most of the time, if I'm walking, I'm talking to my partners on the phone, working. I try to talk to at least 5 of my leaders every day. And I'm always promoting. Like I use social media to my advantage. I'm on Instagram promoting product and services. I do Zooms, promoting product and services. I'm giving away samples all the time. So I'm very interactive in my business.
Hey, thank you so much. You've been amazing. I could talk to you forever. As we go to the end of the show, some quick questions to pick your brain. These can be quick 1 or 2 sentences. Okay, so first one is, what is one of your favorite success quotes that motivates you?
One of my favorite success quotes, man, I would say my own. Money loves speed. Go fast. Money loves speed. Most people like to move slow because they're trying to dissect and inspect everything. Just mess stuff up and go fast. Money loves speed.
What is one habit that's helped you become successful?
So I live off a foundation called RICH: respect, integrity, character, and honor. I live like that. I believe that you should, always treat people the way you want to be treated and always pay attention to respect, integrity, character, and honor.
What's the best piece of advice you ever received?
Oh my God, the best piece of advice I ever received. Proper planning prevents a piss poor performance. Most people don't get ahead because they don't plan ahead. The only way to predict the future is to create it. So proper planning prevents a piss poor performance.
What's your favorite prospecting tool? Say you have a qualified prospect. Do you get on the phone with them? Do you send a video to them? Do you send samples, or do you do Zoom right away, or company video? What do you like to use?
I love to give samples away. I believe in products that you can feel. So I like to sample people and have them to try the product. And based upon how they feel about the product, then if they like the product, then we could move to the next stage. I don't like to send people tools about business and money first. I believe that that's a part of the problem. Everybody's trying to sign people up. I believe in getting you in tune and engaged with my product first and then the business later. Most networkers believe that it's just about selling the product. I'm not selling the product, signing people up, and the product doesn't matter. I believe that the product matters. And I think that's one of the reasons why I still do multiple 7 figures a year. And I mean, I've had $3 million months. And I believe it's because of my philosophy is product acquisition. Get the customer. The business partner will come.
What's your favorite app on your phone that's not a social media app?
My app. I have my own app. It's called I Am Woke. I have my own app. So my app is my favorite app outside of social media.
Awesome. Outside of your own app. And we'll definitely put a link to your app on the show notes page. Outside of your own app, what are the apps?
My bank, Wells Fargo and Bank of America.
I love that. What are 2 or 3 books you could recommend?
Oh my God. My favorite book is Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. And I think right now people should read Who Moved My Cheese. I think people need to know that the world is evolving and you got to keep evolving. So who moved my cheese?
And here's the last question, the $1 million question. You ready?
Yes.
So imagine you had to start all over again and you knew no one. Your contact list was 0, no followers, no friends, but you had all your current knowledge, skills, and wisdom. What's the first thing you do or the first place you go to find prospects and build a network marketing business from scratch?
Walmart.
And using the what? 3 feet rule.
Using the 3 feet rule. Complimenting and speaking to everybody that I meet. And starting with a compliment and a sample. And I'll go to Walmart and Target.
I love that. Simple. And we talked about the 3 feet rule, what to do. Hey, thank you so much. As we wrap up, any last words or advice? And then what's the best way our listeners can connect with you, Stormy?
Absolutely. I mean, money loves speed. Don't try to figure it out. Do the work and figure out what you did later. The economy is changing drastically. You know, I truly believe still in the network marketing industry. I don't care who is getting into crypto or Forex and trading and all of that. I believe in that too. But I also believe that multi-level marketing will never go out of style. And the more people who don't get it, the more you have a chance to tap in and to help people to get it. And so you can follow me on Instagram at Coach Stormy. And I'm hoping that each and every one of you are ready for 2023. My mantra for 2023 is high vibrations only. Only do things that help you to vibrate very high. And so, Simon, thank you so much for having me. It is an honor. And I feel like I have accomplished something great today by being with you on your show. Thank you so much.
ML Nation, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And today you've been hanging out with Stormy Wellington. So keep up the momentum and go to mlnation.com. Click on the podcast tab and the show notes for Stormy's episode, all the nuggets of wisdom, including the stuff she recommended. Her app will be right there. Hey, in order to be successful in life, in business, and in network marketing, you must help others. So Stormy, thanks again for sharing your valuable time with ML Nation. We're grateful to you and we appreciate you for having a positive impact on millions of distributors worldwide. Thank you so much again, and God bless you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.